From Emerson College shows that the California race for governor is close. Right now, Republican Steve Hilton leading the field with 17% support. Democratic Eric Swalwell, Republican Chad Bianco both have 14%. Keep in mind, 21% of voters still undecided according to the poll. And with the margin of error, it's essentially a three-way tie. Under state law, the top two candidates in June's primary advance November's general election, regardless of party. You could have two Republicans, a Democrat, Republican. Who knows? One of those candidates, Chad Bianco, joins me here on set. He is the sheriff of Riverside County. Sheriff, welcome to The Story Is for the first time. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, the Republicans seem to be coming down to you and Steve Hilton. What's the biggest difference between the two of you?
I think there's a lot of difference. I think past is the big difference. I have 32 years of irrefutable integrity, honesty, leadership in service to the public outside of politics. So, I mean, there's a lot of talk about it has to be someone else, outsider. He even says all the time it has to be an outsider. Well, he's a career politician. So he's absolutely right. It does have to be an outsider. And I think California...
But you've been in elected office. He hasn't been in elective office before.
Right. Exactly. 2 times in a major county, major law enforcement. We're the 4th largest sheriff's office in the country. And it's... So there is that knowledge of California government, of U.S. government, that simply he just doesn't have. I mean, he has enormous amounts of London, of England government, but not the U.S. So I think the ability to know what truly is wrong with California, to be able to relate to Californians, and then Californians, I think that why they're flocking to my campaign is that California attitude that we have, that we're just looking for someone that we can believe. We don't trust our politicians, we don't believe our politicians, and that's different for a sheriff. They look to the sheriff to do the right thing outside of politics and just do stuff that for the community, for Californians, and I think that's why it fits. I mean, there's so many things that are different.
Yeah, Steve Hilton, by the way, you say the London experience, he worked for David Cameron in the British government there. He worked as a Fox News Channel host. He has not been himself elected to office before.
Right.
The biggest issue in this state, which is really the biggest issue in the country, but especially in this state, is affordability, making it cheaper to live. You say you want to do no income taxes.
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
Absolutely. Number one, we cut all of the waste that we now know, even according to our own government, our own budget office is saying that the waste, fraud, and abuse in California is worse than any other state in the country. So we have to eliminate that. But the biggest issue is we import all of our oil into California when we have all of the oil here. If we were oil independent in our state, like other states are, we could completely fund government just with the oil revenue. No different than Alaska, no different than Texas. There are 10 other states that don't have an income tax. I guarantee you California can do it better than all 10 of those states.
But the oil thing, I mean, you think you're going to get that through a Democratic supermajority when climate change is such an important issue to so many people on the left?
I do, because the reality is it's all been a lie. One of the things with me is everything about me is the truth. That's all I live off of is the truth. And we've been lied to. We've been misled. We've been told wrong information about oil. Importing 80% of the oil is way more than 10 times worse for the environment than doing it here ourselves. We're importing it from the Middle East, which is far worse, 0 regulations at all. And then you're shipping it across the ocean to bring it here. The carbon footprint is 100 times more, but it's far more worse for the environment. So that is a lie. It doesn't make sense. We have the ability to drill our own oil, pump our own oil, and do it in a way that we can still be good with the environment. That has to be key and main, but we can still do that.
Another huge issue in this state is immigration, where we're really a majority-minority state.
Yeah.
There's millions of people who are here undocumented right now.
Yeah.
What do you do with them? Should there be a pathway to citizenship for them?
This is an entire show conversation. This is where I get in trouble because I like talking for an hour instead of little tiny sound bites. We absolutely cannot have something like amnesty. We can't have that here. The immigrant community doesn't want that here, especially ones that came here and did it the right way. But we also have to have the federal government fixing our immigration system. We absolutely must have immigration into the country. It has to be controlled. It has to be made much bigger. And in California, we rely on it. We rely on guest workers, and they're being cut back. This year we had a big increase in it, but we have to do better at that. The ones that are here illegally, I have to tell you, sanctuary state is a disaster for this state. It has to go away. We absolutely must deport the people who are here illegally and victimizing our communities. And the argument that they shouldn't be, they're victimizing the immigrant communities more than anyone else. So it's sanctuary state policy has to absolutely go, and we have to work to force the federal government to fix these policies that have been broken for years in the immigration system. They have to fix it. We have a mass influx, or we have a mass influence of California delegates that are Democrats in the national government. Why aren't they working to fix it? Why are they not saying that they want to fix the immigration policies?
Well, they say that they do.
Well, they actually don't. They don't do anything. They promise what they're going to, but no one does. And both sides do. They use it on both sides of the argument. We have to fix it because it's the rest of us here in the country and in our state particularly that are really being punished for it and suffering the consequences. The people who are coming here legally, they're the ones that are really suffering.
And so lastly, just the point is, though, people that have been here for a long time, not committed crimes, maybe there should be a pathway for them.
We have to come up with something. I don't know if it's an amnesty. I think they have to suffer a consequence. You're not going to get a free ride. You have to pay a fine. You have to be legal. Or, I mean, you have to not be breaking laws. But there has to be something that we come up with. It makes absolutely no sense. The ones that are criminals, there's no question they've got to go.
Sheriff Chad Bianco, Riverside County, a candidate for governor of California. Best of luck out on the campaign trail. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Coming up, we'll talk